Coming up on AC 24/7, the results of the Georgia Senate race, what Raphael Warnock's victory means for the balance of power in Washington. Plus, are Apple AirTags putting people at risk? A new civil suit is claiming just that, and why? And another state is now banning TikTok access for government workers. We'll tell you why state leaders are concerned. Welcome to AC 24/7. I'm Lamar Baldwin. Senator Raphael Warnock won the Georgia state runoff with 51.4% of the vote. His runoff victory will give Democrats 51 seats in the chamber next year. The Advocate Channel's Amy Kiley reports on why that matters.
It is my honor to utter the four most powerful words ever spoken in a democracy. The people have spoken.
It looks like Senator Raphael Warnock of Georgia will keep his seat. That means Democrats will have greater control of the Senate next year. Warnock's had his seat about 2 years since winning a special election. He's pastor of the Atlanta church Martin Luther King Jr. once led.
And to God be the glory.
Republican challenger Herschel Walker has conceded.
We put up one heck of a fight.
Warnock's victory means Democrats will have 51 seats in the Senate.
It's important to my children, my grandchildren, and most of all me while I'm still here on this earth.
Senate Democrats will hold majorities in each committee next year. They share power with Republicans now. They'll also be able to issue subpoenas without GOP support. And they'll have a vote to spare on simple majority items like Supreme Court nominations. That could weaken the power of moderates. For Georgia, the tight runoff could mean it'll get more attention in the next presidential race.
We need to think about the state of Georgia. It's going to be a swing state in 2024. And if we go down this road again, I suspect we're going to get the same result.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
Warnock will now serve a full 6-year term that will give Democrats 51-49 majority in the Senate. 2 women are suing Apple, alleging their romantic partners used the company's AirTag product to track their locations, potentially putting their safety at risk. The proposed class action lawsuit was filed in federal court in San Francisco on behalf of the 2 women in Texas and New York. Apple launched the AirTag in 2021. The tile-like Bluetooth locator helps users find items such as keys, wallets, laptops, or even cars by giving nearly anything a digital footprint, enabling it to be found on a map. Some experts warn that the devices could be used to track individuals without their consent. Earlier this year, Apple added more safeguards to the AirTag to cut down on unwanted tracking, but the new lawsuit alleges those safeguards have done little to protect victims. Juul Labs has settled more than 5,000 cases in connection to the company's e-cigarettes. An investigation showed that Juul purposely marketed its items to young people, even though e-cigs are illegal for children to use. Juul says the case came from government entities, consumer class action, personal injury, and more. According to a national survey taken in 2021, more than 2 million teenagers in the U.S. admitted to vaping, and some on a daily basis. The terms of the settlement can't be disclosed. Maryland just became the latest state to ban government workers from using the app TikTok. Executive branch employees in Maryland are now prohibited from using TikTok, Alibaba, WeChat, and other platforms with origins in China and Russia. Maryland's governor called the app cybersecurity risk and ordered them to be removed from all state networks. It comes a week after South Dakota's governor issued a similar mandate. Award-winning director Ava DuVernay is making history, but this time it's on the big screen. The 50-year-old filmmaker directed a new flavor for the Ben & Jerry's brand. It's called Liked Caramel Action, and it's a vanilla ice cream with salted caramel, graham cracker swirls, and pieces of chocolate chip cookie dough. The dessert will be available in both dairy and non-dairy versions and should be in stores nationwide by January. DuVernay also becomes the first Black woman to grace Ben & Jerry's ice cream pint. Proceeds from the product will go to DuVernay's Array Alliance nonprofit organization, whose goal is to create equity in the entertainment world. One of the most anticipated films of the year is here. Avatar: Way of the Water is a movie more than a decade in the making. Jake Sully and the Neytiri return to the screen to protect against a new threat to Pandora. We caught up with the stars on the red carpet at the Hollywood premiere of the film.
It feels thrilling to be here at the premiere of Avatar: The Way of Water.
We've been making this movie for quite some time, and now tonight we finally get to share it. Why do we make movies? To share them with people. And I think with Avatar: The Way of Water, we have something special to share.
Stepping back into playing Neytiri is something really special to me. This character is a character that I feel kindred with in so many ways. I learned so much about her. I gave so much of myself to her, so getting to revisit her, to reincarnate her, it just feels like it's a gift that keeps on giving.
Jake's journey in this movie is he's still a warrior, but now he's a dad, so he's still reckless, but he's got a bigger responsibility now. I think what Jim has done with this movie, he's made this movie an experience that you're going to feel in the cinema, not just see, and to share that with your loved ones. The movie's about protecting your loved ones. Jim's still talking about the effects we have on our ecosystem, still talking about how we're interconnected, even from beyond in this movie, from before we're born to after we die. And I think after COVID, we realised we're all in it together. That these are themes that Jim's talked about for many years, from all his movies, about what humanity does to itself.
The new character I play is Kiri, who's 14. She has a connection with Grace Augustine, who I played in the first one. She feels more at home in the forest with creatures and plants than she does with people. And she's a special girl. She's very lovable.
I think it's very hard to say one thing that I'll take away from this experience, but I know that I'll leave it with so much love in my heart and appreciation for what I've accomplished in this film.
When I got to share the movie with Sam and Zoe and Sigourney and Stephen Lang, and I saw their reactions to the film, that was my proudest moment.
Academy Award-winning director Guillermo del Toro's latest film brings a vintage animation style to a classic story. The Advocate Channel's Rick Damagella reports.
I want to tell you a story. It's a story you may think you know, but you don't.
A classic tale comes to life in Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio.
He's just a puppet.
No, I'm not. I'm a real boy.
The film's stop-motion animation style isn't new to the Oscar-winning filmmaker.
I started doing claymation when I was in my Super 8 years, which were before I was 11 or 10. And I then practiced claymation in my teens. I taught claymation. I had a company for about 10 years that produced animation and stop motion and makeup effects. So it's a great return for me to things that are very primal.
We have found him, our star.
I thought it was really interesting and beautiful to make a story about a puppet with puppets. I think it adds a separate layer where everybody thinks they're not a puppet, but they're a puppet tangibly.
The boy loves you for who you are.
It's incredibly emotional. It's incredibly beautiful. Right now we need heart, and this movie has the most gigantic heart. It's absolutely, staggeringly moving to me.
Please bring him back to me.
In Hollywood, I'm Rick Damagella.
Thank you so much for joining us for AC 24/7. For content that advocates for you, go to advocatechannel.com, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and subscribe on YouTube. For the Advocate Channel, I'm Lamont Baldwin.